Hi, my name is Patrick Collins, and in this demonstration, I'm going to show you that you've been making omelets wrong your entire life, but you didn't even know it. So stick with me over the next few minutes. I'll go over ingredients and the secret special step that will help elevate your low-carb breakfast and have people asking you for your secret. So let's go over the basic ingredients. You're going to need 2 eggs. You're going to need a whisk. You're going to need a quarter cup of milk. You're going to need about a half cup of shredded cheese, and later on we'll go over, changing this recipe up to suit your taste and your style. You're going to need a little bit of salt and pepper, and you're going to need some butter to kind of grease the bottom of your pan so the eggs don't stick. You're going to need a pan, and then you're going to need an oven and a towel or pot holder, and we'll get to that when we get to that step. So since I was about 5 years old, my father had me standing on a step ladder in the kitchen using knives that were probably this big. So a 5-year-old with that, it's kind of scary. But I learned quickly the proper way to use a knife and to cook, and it has served me well over the entirety of my life. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to want to do is take the 2 eggs, and you're going to crack them into your bowl, and you're going to whisk them up. Get them nice and blended so that there is no separation between the yolk and the eggs. You can go ahead and toss in your salt and pepper. You're going to use that to your taste. I don't like to use a lot of salt. And then you can mix in your quarter cup of milk. I said milk, but you can also use half and half. You can also use water if you don't have either of those. And then you're going to make sure that you turn your broiler on. That is the secret special step. I'm going to put the pan on the burner. I've already got it going for sake of time. We're going to take the pat of butter, let that melt around in the pan. Probably don't use your hands to move the butter around. But you get the butter nice and melted, grease all of the sides of the pan and the bottom. Get it completely covered. Make sure that, it's melting pretty nicely there now. Get every side all the way around and the bottom nice and covered in melted butter. And for expediency, I'm going to toss that all in. We got enough there. And we're going to take the egg mixture with the salt and a little bit of milk. We're going to pour that right into the pan. Toss that bowl in the sink. And now we're going to give it roughly a minute. And you'll start to notice that the eggs will begin to solidify. You've probably cooked eggs before, but they start to get a little bit solid around the edges, and you don't want to wait until it's completely cooked. You want to wait until it's about halfway through. Pardon my mess. And you can actually move the pan a little bit to allow the egg to move around to see which parts are starting to cook better. When it's about halfway, you're going to want to take that cheese. And like I said, I'm keeping this recipe simple. These are just the bare bones of a plain cheese omelet. And we are almost there. And you're going to sprinkle that cheese around all over inside the pan, covering the eggs. Now that the eggs are almost cooked, we're going to take the pan, and they're starting to bubble a little bit, which is perfect. And you take that and stick it right inside the oven, right underneath the burner. And this is going to put heat on top, as well as the oven's nice and warm. You're going to leave the oven door open just a little bit so you can keep an eye on what's happening in there. And as the eggs begin to cook, it's going to act sort of like a quiche or a souffle, and the eggs are going to rise, and that's what's going to give you that really special, light, fluffy, airy sort of meal. Be sure to turn your burner off for safety and have a towel or a pot holder to grab the eggs out at the end. And this takes just a little bit longer than I was hoping. So I'm over my 5-minute mark for this demonstration. But we can go over the rest of the information that I have here. Definitely, when you pull it out, you can slide the eggs around really nicely. And I'll show you a technique when they're finished. They're nearly there. And it really only takes about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes in the oven once you get it to there. So all in all, this takes 6-7 minutes to cook, and you're totally done. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're just waiting on the eggs to fluff up, and I can actually show you that they're starting to look nice and fluffy. They're rising up, and you let that cook just like that. Grab your pot holder, slide it around a little bit to make sure that they're going to come out. Pull it out. Boom! And you've got a nice, fluffy omelet. So let's recap. We went over the basic ingredients. You can throw in all kinds of stuff. You can put a little bit of meat in there, put that directly into the pan, cook it up a little bit first, then add your eggs. I like to add mushrooms and onions, and spinach is a really good option. But thank you so much for joining me for this demonstration. I am going to snack for a little bit and try it.